What do we have here? About to heist me some of this sugar. Right. Some itty bits. Got some itty bits right here. Got those nutty butts. Ooh, a big nutty butt. I like that. Got them gum yums. Love me some gum yums. Ooh, power sours. Love those too. Give me some of that. Lucky Stucky. Oh yeah. Right. This is pure sugar right here. What's going on, y'all? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to play and set up Sugar Heist. So let's take this up to the top, and I'll show you how to set the game up. Then we'll come back over here and I'll show you how to play. So before you set the game up, there are special rules according to how many players you have. For 5 to 6 players, you're basically going to use all the cards. For 3 to 4 players, you're going to remove 22 itty bits. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21. It's pretty much all the itty bits cards in the game. You're just going to set those aside. You will remove 4 vault cards. 2 attack cards. We have the attack cards here. Remove those 2. 1 crib fight. We have the start a crib fight. You'll remove that one. You'll remove Cocoa Magnet, which is this one. And the Double Trouble. Now that's in a 3 to 4 player game. So for a 2-player game, you're going to remove all the itty bits, so 22 of them. Then you'll remove 8 vault cards, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you'll remove the Babysitter card, Big Brother card, Double Trouble card, Cocoa Magnet, Start a crib fight ×2, and attack ×2. And that is in a 2-player game. But we're going to go ahead and set it up for a 3-player game. After you set the game up for 3 to 4 players, you want to make sure you shuffle the decks. So we'll shuffle this, the candy deck. After that, we'll shuffle the battle cards deck. You want to deal 6 candy cards to each player. Each player also gets 2 vaults face up. So this is the locked part. And then this is face up, so 2 vaults each face up. Then you want to give them each a turn order card. So this basically says how a turn works, and I'll show you, and then we'll get to that in a moment. Then on the back side, it shows you how a attack card works. So each player will get one of those as well. Then you have your candy draw pile in the middle, your battle cards, and then your vaults. We'll turn these over this way. So for the sake of the game and explain, we're going to go ahead and just flip these over. So you're trying to stash your candy inside the vaults. Now there's going to be 7 different types of candy, but we removed the itty bits. So including that, there's 7 different types. So we have Nutty Butts, Power Sours, Lucky Sucky, Gum Yum, Fruity Booty, Chocolate Rockets, and then we have Pure Sugar is a wild card. So if you look on the bottom right, there is a lock number. That's the amount of cards of that type you need to lock your vault. Then on the left, there's the amount there are in the candy deck. So for Chocolate Rockets, you're going to need 8 of that type to lock a vault, and then there's going to be 12 total in the deck. And then for Wild, of course, it becomes anything you change it into. So there's going to be 6 in the deck, And then whenever you change it, so let's say we used a wild to change into a chocolate rocket, it's going to morph into that and basically take on the same lock number. So if you had a wild and you turned it into a chocolate rocket, you still need 8 chocolate rockets, but now this wild is also a chocolate rocket. Now the way you lock a vault, of course, is you're going to need to have the number on the bottom right to lock it. So if you have 8 chocolate rockets in a vault, you can then flip over the card and then it is locked. Now, you can also add more cards to it, only in pairs, of course. You can add more cards to the locked vault, but as soon as it gets below the lock number, which is 8 on the chocolate rockets, then it becomes unlocked. If at any point you have the same flavor in multiple vaults, you may combine those flavors into one vault. So for example, again, if you have the chocolate rockets, here, let's move these. If you have the chocolate rockets in 2 vaults, so let's pretend you have a pair here and a pair here. Now at any time, you are allowed to take the whole pair here and put it into this new vault. And so instead of 2, you would have 4 there. And then this becomes an empty vault again. So on your turn, you're going to complete 3 phases. And then after that, each other player will complete their 3 phases. So the first phase is to stash. So what you're going to do is you're going to stash pairs of candy into your vault. Now you can stash more than 1 pair. You can stash different types of candy, but it always has to be in multiples of 2. So let's say you wanted to stash the Gum Yum. And you do that. And then you use the wild card, and then you can stash this one here. And then let's say you had a full hand of pairs. Let's say the Fruity Booty was yours as well. You could stash that in another vault. Now you can only have 1 flavor per vault, of course, but if later on you decide that you have more of one kind than you have in a vault, you can switch out those flavors and discard the ones in your vault for the ones in your hand. For example, if you had, let's say you just had this vault empty, or let's say this vault was free right here. This one was not available. You had 4 Gum Yums in your hand, or you had 3 Gum Yums and a wild. And you're saying, well, I only have 2 Fruity Booty, but I want to switch that out for these Gum Yums. So what you would do is you would just discard those Fruity Booty, and then you'd be able to replace them with the Gum Yums. Then phase 2, you're going to reveal 2 candy cards from the candy deck, and you're going to either take those into your hand or swap them out with other players. Now, when you're swapping out with other players, you can also swap cards from your hand with other players, not just these. So you could take those if you want them, and then swap cards from your hand with other players. Now, the way a swap works is you have this here, and you say, well, I don't want the Power Sours. I want more Gum Yums. And you have more Gum Yums. I'll give you this Power Sour for the Gum Yum. And they say, okay. But then if somebody else comes over, and they're like, well, I want Power Sours, because I'm going to stash them soon, or whatever. And they have 2 Gum Yums, and you give them the Power Sours for their Gum Yums, then, you know, this one lost out. You're like, well, maybe next time. So that's how a swap works. In phase 3, you're going to be buying and playing battle cards and vault cards. And then you have a limit of 2 that you can buy. So you can either buy 1 battle card and 1 vault card, or 2 vault cards or 2 battle cards. And the way you buy battle and vault cards is each one of these costs 1 candy from your vault. Now you cannot use candy from your hand to buy battle cards or vault cards. They must be from your vault, and they can either be a locked or an unlocked vault. And the way this works is you would take a candy from your vault, you would place it in the discard pile, and then you would either choose to buy a battle card or you would buy a vault card, and then it would go here in your vault area. Battle cards are usually placed face down in front of you unless they have a yellow background or you wish to play them immediately. So for instance, I will show you a few with the yellow background. We have Start a Crude Fight, Activate Sleeper Cell, Heist on the attack, and I'll get to that a little bit more later, Battle Royale, Mega Candy Magnet, Pinata, Bad Dog, and Candy Magnet. Those are all the battle cards that must be played immediately when you draw them. At the end of your turn, after you've done all 3 phases, and if you have less than 6 cards in your hand, you're going to draw back up to 6. Now, if you have more than 6 cards, so if you have 7 or 8, you are required to discard down to 6 cards. There are other areas in the game where you can have more than 6 cards. So like if you're trading during the reveal and swap phase, then you're allowed to have more than 6 cards in your hand. But when it gets to the end of your turn, you must have no more than 6 in your hand, and you have to discard down to 6. I'm going to go over the 4 types of battle cards. Then I'm going to go over the proper way to use attack cards. So starting with the first one, we have action cards. Action cards are going to be used on a single player, and you can only use on a player with 2 or more vaults. That's the same with most of these cards, unless it's a defense card. You can only use them on a player with 2 or more vaults. So there we have action cards. We have the Vault Heist, Time Out, Mastermind. Those are just a few examples. Then we have the attack cards. Now if you see here, we have Heist and we have Steal, and I'll explain that in a moment. Now the attack cards do look different, but they are going to be played the same way. So here we have this, and then on this one, just a fight. Then we have the defense cards, Mom and Big Brother. There are other ones, but these are just examples, of course. Defense cards are used, of course, in a defense, as well as sometimes you can earn bonuses with them. And then finally we have event cards. They are the yellow backgrounds, like this, and they are triggered immediately after you buy them, and they affect all players unless otherwise stated on the card. So we have a few examples here. We have Candy Magnet, Pinata, Activate Sleeper Cell, Start a Crib Fight, and Mega Candy Magnet. I'm going to show you how to use the attack cards. So there's 2 options on an attack card. You have Heist, which is play immediately, and you can win up to 6 candies. And then there's Steal, and you can play that on any of your turns, and you can steal 2 candy cards from the target. So when you're heisting, what you want to do is, of course, you want to play it immediately as soon as you buy it, and you choose the target player which you want to heist the candy from, and you're both going to battle it out. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to both draw battle cards until one of you hits their 2 attack cards. So the first player, the player who's doing the heist, draws 1. Oh, so there's a first attack card. Then the second player goes, nothing. Nothing there. Nothing there. This player goes, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Then we have nothing here. Nothing there. Then we'll do this. Nothing there. And now when doing a heist, you ignore all other results from the battle cards. You're just going to be looking for attack cards. And this one has nothing. Oh, and there's their second attack card. So they would win, and they would take 6 candy cards from an unlocked vault. You cannot take any more than 6. It is just 6. So you would just take the 6 they have right there. So if the other player were to win, so let's say that they got their attack cards first, both of them, the heist would not happen, and they would get to keep their candy in the vault. And then, of course, there's no penalty for the heister. And then after the battle, you're going to just take the cards, shuffle them, and then add them back to the deck. Now, if during a heist you run out of attack cards, so while y'all are battling, you know, you're going like this, and then let's say suddenly you run out, you don't have any more, what you're going to do is you're just going to take the discarded pile, and then you're going to shuffle it back into the battle deck, just shuffle it all together, and then you're going to resume wherever you left off. Now, to steal, you're going to just, at any time, you're going to declare who you would like to steal from, and then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to take 2 candies from you, and you would successfully steal those. The only way that can be blocked is if they have a mom card, which is stop a battle card. And then any candy you win must go into an empty vault. So if the heist was successful, or the steal, you must put those into an empty vault that you have, otherwise you do not get to take them. So a few rules about heisting and stealing. So the first one is that you cannot heist the same player in the same turn, but if you were to draw another heist card, you can heist a different player in the same turn. You can steal more than once at a time, but you must reveal those cards at the same time. So if you have 2 steal cards, you can steal up to 4 candies or more, but you have to declare that you have multiples at the same time. So you can't just say, okay, I'm going to steal, and then you reveal another one and say, okay, well, I'm going to steal again. And then you can't keep doing that. They all have to be revealed at once. And then the final rule is you cannot heist and steal from the same player in the same turn. When there's no candy left in the candy draw pile, you're going to take the discard pile, you're going to shuffle it, and that's going to become your new candy draw pile. When this happens again, so when you run out of candy cards again, the player who revealed the last card is going to complete their turn, but they're not going to be able to buy any more battle cards. They're not going to be able to play any more battle cards, buy any more vault cards, and neither will any other players. What they can do is they will be able to play any outstanding pairs they have in their hand on any empty vaults or any vaults with the same type of candy. Any unstashed cards must be discarded. Then you're going to take the candy from all of your vaults and combine it, and every candy card that you have equals 1 point. The player with the most points is the winner. If you enjoyed watching this video and you want to watch more board game videos, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. We'll be posting more videos every week. Thanks for watching The Other Board Gamer.